Building muscle sucks. And the reason why it sucks is because it's hard. It's not an easy thing. So there are 6 hard truths that I'm going to explain to you in this video about building muscle. But if you overcome these 6 hard truths, you're going to gain more muscle and overall be much happier with the way your body looks. So number 1, there's no supplement out there that will beat calories when it comes to putting on muscle. Sorry, despite what you may think, the GNC down the block, if people even go to GNCs anymore, there's nothing magical about supplements. They're really going to make only a 1% difference in your physique. 1%, that's so minuscule. But what's going to make more of a difference is having adequate amounts of calories. So don't use supplements as the crutch to get to that next level. It's not going to be that. You're not going to get it from the supplements. You're going to get it from just calories. So many guys always come to me and they ask, how do I put on muscle? What's the best way to add weight? The best way to put on muscle and add weight is to track your calories and constantly be progressively overloading your calories. That's the only way to do it. No supplement out there, no pre-workout, no creatine, no protein powder, although you consider protein powder food. But regardless, any of these fancy bottles are not going to be the thing that's going to take your body to the next level. Calories are. So you need to make sure that you're tracking your calories. That's first and foremost. If one of the first questions you ask me is, hey, should I take this supplement, versus you're not even tracking how many calories you're taking in, that's a problem. So that's the hard truth, number 1. Number 2, you need to focus on getting stronger in compound movements. Despite what all these science nerds out there will tell you, this is the most optimal movement you can do for rows, and this is the most optimal movement you can do here, and use an anchor for this, and all this other science-based crap. People have been building muscle for years just focusing on getting stronger in compound movements. Find the movement that you like. Doesn't matter if it's incline bench press, flat bench press, decline, overhead press, whatever those movements are for each body part, and focus on just getting stronger with them. I promise you, a lot of the bigger guys out there have gotten that way because they've gotten stronger in those movements. And once you get to a certain level of strength, then you can kind of deviate and do other things to stimulate muscle. But you need to build that base first. So stop worrying about what the science nerd is telling you online and focus instead on just getting stronger in a handful of movements and watch how radical your physique will change. Number 3, this is another hard truth, and a lot of guys don't believe this. You can't stay lean year-round and put on as much muscle as possible. You cannot. Unfortunately, it's not the way it works. You need to get to a point where you're pushing the calories, again, like I said, progressively overloading your calories. You need to get to a point where you're just keep adding weight. Remember, this is not a fast process at all, and muscle is really, really hard to put on. So we need to literally force it on, and the only way to do that is to not be in a calorie deficit. When you're in a calorie deficit, your body is not going to lay down any tissue. You need to be in a position where your body's going to lay down new muscle tissue, and the only way to do that is to be in a calorie surplus. So, for example, if you're only building muscle 2 months out of the year, there's 12 months out of the year, that's not enough time. You need to spend more time in a calorie surplus and less time in a calorie deficit. All right? It's a hard truth. You can't be lean year round. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. I've wasted a lot of time trying to stay lean instead of putting on more muscle. And I should have spent more time putting on muscle and less time trying to get lean. All right? Number 4, hard truth. You need to train body parts every 4 to 5 days. So, for example, if I hit my chest today, I need to train that muscle again every 4 to 5 days. So I need to hit chest again in 4 to 5 days from now. And you accomplish this by, in my opinion, the best routine out there, doing a 2 days on, 1 day off split, where basically I work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday, and then repeat the cycle. That would hit body parts every 4 days. If your recovery is not that good, you can take it to 5 days by doing 2 days on, 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off. So that would look like Monday, Tuesday on, Wednesday off, Thursday on, Friday off, repeat. And by doing that, you give yourself a little bit more rest, and now you're hitting body parts every 5 days. But I believe a 2 days on, 1 day off split is ideal to put on the most amount of muscle as possible. It has the most balance between recovery and stimulus that you need to build muscle and so on. All right. Hard truth number 5. This is a tough one. If you're injured, you lose progress. Seems like common sense, but sometimes we bash our head against the wall, forcing movements that we just don't feel. You need to focus on your form. Your form is everything. If you're not feeling the targeted muscle being worked and you're feeling the joints, you're feeling not good things, don't do that movement. Very simple. If you're injured, you're not going to make any progress. We want to stay as injury-free for as long as we can. And in order to do that, we need to focus on your form and focus on movements that you can feel. If you're, for example, if you're doing skull crushers and you feel it all in your elbows, that's probably not a good movement for you. Again, if your form is good. If your form is bad, then obviously you need to fix your form. But if your form is good and you're still feeling it in the elbows, then that's probably not the movement for you. So that's a hard truth. A lot of people will argue with me on that, but if you're hurt, you're not making progress. So you want to stay as injury-free as possible. The only way to do that is by focusing on your form and focusing on movements that you will use and like and feel. All right. Hard truth number 6. I got to bring out the diagram here. Patience. Now, this is a pound of muscle. This is what 1 pound of muscle look like, right? It's not a lot. Now, the ability to put on muscle, the rate at which we put muscle on is not quick. Okay. Your body doesn't want to add muscle tissue. So most people will say, okay, I'm putting on a pound a week. I'm trying to gain, a pound of muscle a week. Your body's not going to synthesize this. The most it can synthesize in a week for a natural is half of a pound. So half of this thing, half of the half. So it's more like this portion of it. Kind of hard to do with the mic in my hand, but you get the idea. So this amount of muscle is the most that you're going to put on in 1 week. Half of a pound, a quarter pound of muscle a week. Now, look at your body and spread this out throughout your whole frame. You're not even going to notice it. It's not a fast process. So if we do this consistently, week after week. And this is, again, if you're doing everything correctly, if you're following all the advice that I'm giving you, if you're eating enough protein, if you're training with progression, if you're doing all these things, half of a quarter pound a week is what you're going to put on. Now, again, we do that over the course of a month is about 4 pounds. A pound in a month, that's about 10 to 12 pounds in a year. Again, every person is different, but that's about the rate that you can gain. If you've been training longer, it's going to be even slower. But again, think about that. A quarter pound. So a quarter of this much over your whole body in 1 week. You got to have patience. Muscle is not a fast process. Building muscle, building a quality physique is not a fast process at all. So you got to have patience, guys. You have to. There's no shortcut to this. There's no secret. You got to do the hard things day in and day out. You got to track calories. You got to work out hard. You got to do all these things day in and day out, no matter what, in order to gain a quarter of a pound. Kind of depressing when you think about it. But over time, this adds up. And this is what leads to a good quality physique that I want you to have. Now, guys, because you made it this far in the video, I have a free 6-week training program for you that I want to give you that will help you to put on that quarter pound of muscle every week. Just click the link below. You can get that there. And until next time, this is Anthony, AB Fitness. I'll catch you on the next one. If you enjoyed this, drop a like, a comment, and if you are looking for a coach and a nutritionist, visit our profile. We would love to help you out today.